Very lucky.
Well, thank you very much.
He later said it was love at first sight, and the two were married for more than 40 years, having 4 sons together. Phil also had a daughter from a previous marriage. Al, what do you think of when you think of Donahue?
I think that he's the reason we are where we are right now. As corny as it sounds, he was the first person to kind of blur the line between like us and them. Giving the audience a say wasn't a thing. Now there's a comment section on YouTube. You can write in questions on SportsCenter, and they'll answer. Jeff from Denver asked it. That was not a thing. It was, here's the show. You sit there and you absorb this show. And there was never the concept of maybe this woman in the audience has a question our producers haven't thought of. And that simple concept that's so normalized to us now was not a thing until he kind of showed the audience, like, you have a say, and people gravitate towards that. And I think there's a reason why other talk shows that kind of, you know, standing on the shoulders of giants took that model and ran with it.
Yeah. Chicago, big guy for Chicago. Do you remember Donahue growing up?
I remember Donahue, of course.
Yeah.
Such an influence, right? But he reinvented daytime talk, and I think they're under renovation right now. It just takes one show to produce what others follow, you know? So a lot of people are saying daytime's done, but Phil reinvented that, and look how long that lasted. So there is hope for daytime talk, and he did it his own way. I mean, we made him sound like real debonair, and he did all this, and then we show him throwing somebody out of a wrestling ring. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a knock on him. I'm saying he did what he wanted to do. He made it fun. He reinvented things. He did it his way, and I'm proud of him for that, and he lived a great, great life.
You're absolutely right. Steph, take a look at this. He actually wore a skirt when he was doing a cross-dressing episode, which is also, you know, things people weren't talking about. Do we have that footage really quick? All right, this is he wearing that as he discussed it. He also talked about abortion, feminism. What do you think about someone like that taking over in that time period, Steph?
I mean, he clearly was a pioneer, right? Well before his time, and literally just, he seems like a shining example, which is why so many greats have come after him. I mean, he was before my time, you guys, so I'm saying this as learning from you guys and watching these clips and seeing how amazing he was. And country, obviously, yeah.
Sure.
What I love is the fact that he gave a voice to the voiceless, and there's always been this great divide between people you see on screen and celebrities and everyone else at home. And I think that was such a novel and unique thing that he did, and that was so popular, he used to do it just in the ad breaks, that it then became a part of the show and has completely revolutionized television as we know it, right?
It's crazy. Right. He also would say when some stations wouldn't air the things like the abortion issue or the feminism issue, he would call the general managers and say, you have to air it. It's freedom of speech. Himself, he would call and do it.
But that just shows how powerful and how much he believes in it, and that the fact that a lot of voiceless people that were going on his show, they deserve that.
Absolutely.
Why shouldn't it be seen?
Absolutely.
And it also shows it wasn't just a home run or a slam. Like the things we talk about in the show that are tense, that are serious, that are involving, you know, reproductive rights and civil rights, that we talk about kind of casually. We forget that there was a period of time where there was somebody being like, not only will you not talk about that, we're not going to air that. And somebody had to say, no, we're going to talk about abortion. We might talk about abortion 3 times in a week.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it used to be super taboo. Now it's
beyond taboo. Yeah,
it's kind of okay to talk about.
Yeah, it's a little bit okay. There is a reason though that Phil Donahue, we just want to show this. In May of 2024, he did receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That was because of how he transformed everything. So we wanted to give him his shot. I'm sure Marlo Thomas will miss him dearly. His family will miss him dearly. But may he rest in power.
What a life! What a career!
What a life! What a career! And what a love. Coming up on DBL, former Dancing with the Stars host Samantha Harris reveals her breast cancer has returned. Dr. Coley is here to talk about how common is it for cancer reoccurrence to happen. And Jessica Alba is telling us all about her home renovation show where she's making family dreams. They're coming true, people. Welcome back to DBL. We've got our one and only Dr. Coley joining us. Thank you so much for being here. We want to talk about a good friend of the show. She is a wonderful human being and a good friend. Former Dancing with the Stars host Samantha Harris. Last week, she revealed that she was diagnosed with breast cancer for a second time. Take a look at this.
I have some health news that I need to share that I never thought that I would be sharing again in my lifetime, but I have a recurrence of breast cancer. And I feel so fortunate to have been able to guide, support, and lead so many of you in the Your Healthiest Healthy community, and I will continue to do so, and I will fight on, and I will be okay.
If anyone I know will be okay, she will be okay. How common is it to get a reoccurrence of breast cancer, Doc?
I mean, she's putting such a positive spin on it, but it's so tragic because she first got diagnosed when she was only 40. And it really depends on kind of the stage of diagnosis, the type of cancer, whether it's hormone receptor positive. So hers was stage 2, which means that when she was diagnosed at age 40, it had already spread to her lymph nodes. And in situations where the cancer has already spread to the lymph nodes, there's about a 25% chance of recurrence. Now, you can make that better by getting a mastectomy, getting radiation. I don't know if she got radiation. I know she got a mastectomy.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of helps maximize your chances. But when it comes back, it's really a sign that some of those microscopic cells were left behind.
Oh.
So, Dr. Coley, when you were just saying, obviously, Samantha got breast cancer the first time in 2014, and she did have the double mastectomy, right? So how can you get breast cancer again if you've already taken that step? Is it because it went into the lymph nodes?
Yeah. So a lot of people think, okay, I got the breast removed, that means I can't get breast cancer. But if you think about it, there's some breast tissue left behind at the chest wall and at the skin, right under where it was removed. Then the lymph nodes, her cancer had spread to the lymph nodes, so it could have what's called a regional recurrence, which means it recurred in the lymph nodes, or you could have what's called a distant recurrence, means that it's already spread to another part of the body, like her liver, her brain, or her bones, or somewhere else, and it might have recurred there. So it's really unfortunate, despite the mastectomy, that she had this recurrence.
I hate cancer. I hate cancer.
It's so strange. I was listening to a podcast on Friday, it was strangely about cancer, and they said even when they say they go in and got it, they usually mean they got about 97% of it.
Well, we can't see cancer always. I mean, we can see the tumor, so we try to get negative margins, but we can't see the microscopic cells. And that's where we're really trying to push the frontier of science forward. Because what if we could, once we take out your cancer, make a little breast cancer vaccine, which is what I'm really excited about, which means teach your immune system how to look for the cancer so that if these little microscopic cells come back, your immune system, which can see better than our eyes can see, will find it and fight it. So that's what I would hope for women who have, especially high-risk breast cancer, get these breast cancer vaccines. They're in clinical trials right now. They've not been approved. But I'm really hopeful for the future with these.
Well, Doc, a lot of people are watching this show, and they are, luckily, thankfully, breast cancer survivors. So what is the best way for them and anybody that may encounter this to monitor, to make sure that they don't get breast cancer a second time?
You know, you got to take control. You have to be in charge, and you can't rely on the system to tell you what to do. We don't have a blood test for breast cancer. The only tests we have are imaging tests. So you can't get lazy about it and say, oh, they got the whole cancer, it's taken out. You got to make sure you stay on top of mammograms if you still need those. MRIs sometimes are a more sensitive way to look at the breast tissue because they zoom in closer. Or, of course, if you've had metastatic breast cancer beyond the breast, sometimes they'll do CT scans. So imaging tests really help us to know, but make sure you get them regularly like your doctor tells you to.
All right.
All right, Doc. So another star, Danielle Fishel from Boy Meets World, just announced she has breast cancer. She said she was diagnosed with DCIS. So what is that, first of all, and how is that treated?
Yeah, I used to watch Boy Meets World.
Topanga!
Didn't you?
Of course.
All the time. And I liked Topanga because she was a little odd and unfortunate, again, to hear this. But DCIS is a much better prognosis. It's called ductal carcinoma in situ. Ductal means it's in the milk ducts. Carcinoma means it's cancer. But in situ means that it hasn't invaded yet. And so that means it's just microscopic cancer cells. And what's tricky about this cancer, guys, is that it doesn't present with a lump or any symptoms. So it's just usually calcification seen on a mammogram or some other abnormality seen on MRI, which tells the doctor that you have breast cancer before you even know it, because you don't actually feel anything because there's little microscopic cells. So it's the best breast cancer to have because it's in situ. But depending on how much DCIS you have, if it's just in one spot or multiple spots, they may still recommend surgery. They may recommend mastectomy. They might actually recommend potentially radiation and hormone therapy as well. If it's got hormone receptors on it, then sometimes they'll give tamoxifen or other medications like that to sort of turn off the hormone receptors on the cancer.
Wow. All right, well, we're wishing her well. Let's talk about another cancer, ovarian cancer. How many of you are related and relatable to this? Because it's a very, very difficult to detect. And a new study says there are 4 symptoms we should be on the lookout for. They are bloating, abdominal pain, needing to pee frequently, and feeling full quickly. I've talked to you about personal things here, and I'm concerned. What are some thoughts on these symptoms and the best way women can be on the lookout? Because I was like, what if I feel like I might have some of those symptoms? What's my next step?
Listen to your body. Because the problem with ovarian cancer, we don't do population screening because it's not effective. So we don't say go get screened for ovarian cancer.
Right.
So the symptoms really clue us into who we should be screening, and that's what this new study looked at. These 4 symptoms in particular that you just listed, Tori, if you have those and you get fast-tracked to get a blood test, because there's a type of ovarian cancer that releases a blood biomarker, it's called CA-125, or to get an ultrasound, a vaginal ultrasound where they look at the ovaries themselves. So they got these women in within 2 weeks, whereas the current guidelines in countries like Australia say you have to have symptoms for a month before we'll even look. But you know, with ovarian cancer, time is everything, early detection, and you don't want to keep waiting, because if that tumor spreads, just like with other cancers, it's almost too late. So at the earliest sign of symptoms, even if it's only one symptom, talk to your doctor and see if it makes sense to get checked out with blood tests and ultrasounds.
Okay, well, I'm feeling some of those symptoms, so I'm being really honest here. I'm going to go get that checked out with Dr. Coley.
Please.
I want to do it quickly, and I think if anyone out there wants to write me and says I'm scared and wants to do it too, let's do it together. Thank you for joining us again, Dr. Coley. DBL Nation, follow Dr. Coley on social media at PyleColeyMD. You can also subscribe to her YouTube page. Plus, check out her podcast, Heart of Medicine, wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you again, Doc. Coming up on DBL, Jessica Alba is telling us about the 2nd season of her home renovation show, plus how she keeps her own home in order with 3 children. Welcome back. Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis have taken on a passion project, making dreams come true for families on their show, Honest Renovations. Earlier, we spoke with them all about it. Take a look.
Are you looking away? Yeah. You can't look away. Why? Because you're shooting the gun.
Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis, welcome to DBL. Hi, ladies. So is this your 2nd season of Honest Renovations? What has been the best part about making families' homes' dreams come true?
I mean, I would say it's the families. I think it's literally, changing their lives. There aren't many there aren't many circumstances where you can really, never know someone, and in 2 months get so close with them and literally give them life-changing solutions to their life.
And there's no other show that's really like this. That's what makes it so wonderful. It's like you're not just getting a beautiful home design, you're getting a story with it. You are really getting the family's story, which is really nice.
We love the feel-good stories. It brings us in. We definitely love a before and after. I will stick around all day for that, okay? So I'm in. But Jessica, you and Lizzie are both moms of 3.
Shout out.
Yes. Do you embrace the chaos, or are you able to keep your home clean and organized?
Ooh. I think there's different moments and stages where all of that is true. Sometimes it is chaotic, and that's just the reality of being a parent. That is life. And I think the beauty in how Jess and I both keep our homes is we love something to be aesthetically pleasing, but we also want it to feel lived in.
And homey.
Yeah, homey and cozy. Yeah. So we want people to come over, and we want our kids and our family to always feel comfortable, to be able to walk into any room, hang out in any room, chill in any room. Yeah. But at the same time, yes, we do have an aesthetic that we like to hold in the home. And so it's important for us to keep everything organized and in its place, and, you know, everything to have its own moment in each room.
With all the families you've helped, what are the most common issues in their homes?
You know, I would feel that's exactly what I think we see the most. The most is exactly what you just said. As a parent, it's real talk. Everyone feels like no matter what space they clean first, the other one is going to get messed up. There's no consistency of organization. I think a big part of what we do is we come in and we're able to transform rooms. We're able to transform the home, but we're also able to give really solid tips on organizing, which is so important.
And
such
creating storage solutions.
Yes.
I would say
beautiful storage solutions.
There's no house that has enough storage.
No.
In the history of home.
Yeah, it's like it could be as beautiful as you want, but there is not enough storage. Especially when you're talking about kids and parents and multi-generational families, which we tap into a lot on this in this season. You know, when you're talking about different people in every household, there's a lot you have to organize. So I think that's the one theme that we saw the most.
I'm more of a store my kids away kind of guy.
Fair.
See, as you.
How old are they?
Same.
They're 5 and 7 right now.
Oh, yeah. Think of it. And they do not care. Stuff is everywhere.
That's right.
Just, I mean, I'm not even joking. I walk up the steps and it's Oreos, pants, shirt, one sock, a shoe. I'm like, just pick up one thing.
Just an Oreo.
Sorry, this is turning into a therapy session.
Jessica, I got to ask you this. For people that might want to take on a renovation, what is the most important thing that you want them to remember?
I would say the more they can be organized and plan, the better. Plan really your budget and work backwards from there. I think be also realistic about what you can do and then what you should call a professional in for. We've had some families that watch YouTube videos and they think they can do these things, and they're a quarter of the way through and it's like, it just doesn't get done. And so, you know, budget for a professional should come in and maybe tile, or a professional should come in and fix the roof or whatever it is, right? But can you paint? Totally.
Yeah.
You know?
Wallpaper?
Wallpaper? Go ahead and try.
We believe in you. Jessica and Lizzie, thank you so much for being here. DBL Nation, please. You can watch season 2 of Honest Renovations starting August 23rd on the Roku channel. This is awesome. Thank you guys so much. We will all be tuning in. Thank you so much, Lizzie. Thank you so much, Jessica. We'll be right back.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Welcome back to DBL. The Democratic National Convention starts today in Chicago.
Is this your Christmas?
This is my Hanukkah,
Your Hanukkah.
and Christmas combined. It will bring together some of the biggest names in the party. President Biden and Hillary Clinton will speak on Monday. Obama is going to be on Tuesday. Bill Clinton and Tim Walz on Wednesday, and then Vice President Harris will close out the convention on Thursday.
I'm going right after her.
You are? You're going after
Yeah.
the presidential nomination. Okay. We also learned that now Michelle Obama herself will also be speaking on Tuesday. Ooh. Now the big question is, will Beyonce come out to the song that she's already given? The news is that perhaps we will see a Beyonce sighting.
Kamala, you mean?
No. No, we're hoping to see Beyonce come out and do a little song that Kamala Harris is using for her theme song for the whole thing.
Well,
freedom.
Megan Thee Stallion's already done that, right? So I don't know. I can't imagine a world in which we don't see Beyonce. I just think Chicago.
I can.
You're gonna see. I think. I mean, with all the energy galvanized around this campaign right now, in real time, I think this is the time where Beyonce comes and tries to put it over the top.
I think the fact that she gave her song so quickly, it was like literally instant. It wasn't even much of an ask, was it? It was like, go for it.
And she spoke to her in person, which makes me think they have some kind of relationship. Come on, Beyonce.
Do you think it matters?
Yeah, I think for the younger voting population, absolutely.
I agree with Steph.
I think people want to see, you know, who do the people I like align with, and what does that mean for me, and if I continue to follow them or not, or you know, who I'm guided by.
That's this week?
That's this week.
I feel COVID coming up.
Oh, DBL's new every day. Well, it's the same time, same place tomorrow. Maybe not, Jeff.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.